once we cover all the topics on this titles, then we will go for the Angular. So once we completed our Angular, then we will integrate our banking project with the UI designs, everything. We will integrate our UI project with our API design. So which is nothing but it's a full-fledged design actually. Okay. So this is what about the project design. Okay. So first I am starting with the HTML. And as usual, if you have any doubts regarding any changes or any codes, then you can ask immediately. Actually. Okay. So I will start with the HTML actually. Okay. So for all the three things, sorry, one second. All three languages related with front end only, which means HTML stands for Hypertext Markup language. Okay, and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. And then JS stands for as usual JavaScript actually. Okay, so these are the basic one for our. So all these languages will be used in front end only. Front end is nothing but it's like a browser. So all these languages can be compiled and rendered in the browser only. It may be browser means I hope you know it's like Chrome or any Safari or any other like Edge, the new Microsoft Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge. So Opera. So all the browsers will come under, all the softwares will come under browsers only. So all the browsers will have the capability of compiling this languages. So hypertext markup language is the language which will be used for to show the text in the website. And then CSS is the cascading style sheet which will be used for to design the website. And JavaScript is a language, and everyone knows it's like a language which will be used for to interacting with the clients actually. Clients means it's like like end users. So all the end users can able to interact with our website using the JavaScript concept. Okay. So these are the three things we are going to see in our application. Okay. So the first one what we are going to see is HTML. So hypertext markup language. Okay. So what is hypertext markup language and what is the use and all this we will see now. So hypertext markup language is specifically for from the name itself you will understand it's like a simple markup language to display some content in the website. Let's say apart from this it does not have anything to display the content in the website. So it does not have any alignment or something. Just wherever we are putting the content, it will be displayed in our web page. Okay, this is the first one to display the content. The web page. This is the first one. The next one is okay. The next one is it will be rendered in the browser as we all know. It renders in the browser. Okay, this is the second one. And then third one is it has HTML tags using HTML tags. Page will be maybe designed, which means using some of the HTML tags will be there that we will see later. But using HTML tags, we can able to design our website. Okay, and the last one is all the excuse me. Okay, so all the HTML file should ends with .html extension. Okay, so it is not mandatory that it should ends with this extension, but it's like a just a standard way of storing the HTML file with the concept with the extension of .html. Okay, it is not necessary that all the HTML files should ends with the .html this extension. Okay, so these are the 4 points we have to remember when we are designing our HTML website. Okay, now we will start our HTML web page. Let's see how it will be useful actually. Okay, so the first one is and okay, one more thing, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code as we all know. I think many people know this thing. So So I'm going to use Visual Studio Code as we are now to create our project. Okay, I think I will create a new project. Okay, so here I'm creating this one. Here I'm creating a folder called HTML. Okay, so this HTML I will just incorporate it here. I will open the folder inside the Visual Studio Code. Okay, in this file, sorry, in this folder, which is it's like a HTML folder. In this folder, I want to create a file called maybe I will create like test.html. We can create whatever the file we want. And here I am creating a test.html. As I told, all HTML files should end with .html extension. So first thing is I have created a test.html. Okay, and then to display the content in the web page actually. Okay, so now I am typing something and I'm saving the file. Now I'm going to open the file which is created inside this folder, inside the using the browser actually. Okay, so just to drag and drop the file, and this file will be loaded in the browser. But this is not the proper way of rendering the HTML file. But this is like an example of how the HTML will be rendered in our browser actually. Okay, so this is what this concept actually. This is not about how the HTML file is loading. This is about how the browser is loading our HTML file. Okay, that's, apart from this, it does not have anything. Just we have created one simple HTML file. From there, we just type something, some random content inside the file, and then we load the website inside the, sorry, we load the HTML file inside our browser. That's it. Apart from this, we didn't do anything. Okay, now I am shrink the size. Okay. Okay, this is the first one. Okay, next one, we will see that what is the standard way of defining our HTML tags actually. Okay, which means here, so as I told earlier, using HTML tags page will be designed, which means all the HTML tags will be, HTML tags are important to create our web pages. Okay, so we will see what are the HTML tags and how it will be useful, why it will be useful actually. Okay, so the first HTML tag is, which means all the HTML pages will start with the tag called HTML only. So inside this HTML only, the tags will be started. But one more thing, here both opening tag and closing tag should be there, which means then only the proper HTML will be rendered. Which means once you open the tag, then we have to close the tag actually. Otherwise, it will create an issue. It may not create an issue actually, as the browser will close automatically. But in some scenario, if you are working in a very bigger applications, during this time, this won't be allowed actually. Which means in case if you are working in a very bigger applications where you are having multiple lines, then this time this will create some issues actually. Okay, due to that, this tag should not be opened always. So whenever we are opening one tag, it should close with the same tag actually. Okay, so this is not about opening tag, this is closing tag, which means I can say like this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag actually. Okay, so inside that we need to provide the proper tag name, and this tag name should be understood by the browser as well. In case if you are providing the tag which is not understood by the browser, it won't create any issue, or it won't show any error, but still you can able to see the proper output actually. Okay, okay. So this is the first parent tag, which always all the websites should start with this tag only. Okay, the next one is head tag. So this header tag is nothing but it's like a header for our website. So when we want to include any external files, something like JavaScript or any CSS, then we can use this head tag. Specifically, it's specifically what to include in the headers in our for our web application. Okay, to add the external links actually. Okay, this is the first one. Apart from this, inside the head, we can use the title actually. Title is nothing but it's like a title is I'll save this here actually. Okay, I'm saving this file. And if I refresh it, okay, nothing is there. Okay, title tag is specifically for to show the title message in the tab. As you can see here, now in the test.html, you can see only that file name is coming. Instead of this file name, if you want to show some other data, if you want to show some other data, then I can use the tag called title actually. Okay. So in case if I am giving like this is test website, I'm giving this content, I'm saving this file, and if I refresh it, you can see the title is changed actually. Okay. So because now I gave the content here inside the title tag, due to that my website got changed actually. Okay. In case instead of this content, if I give some other content like then I will get the new title will get updated in the website. Okay. So this is what about title actually. Title means in the tab of the web page, the content which is showing here, right? This is what title actually. Okay. Okay. In case if I want to use some other title, then I can use this concept. That's it. Okay. The next one, what we are going to see is the main important thing is how the content will be shown in the website. What is the tag actually? Okay. So to show the content in the website, so still now as you can see here, whatever the content we are having this much content, right? But still none of the content is showing in the website. Still the website is become blank because we didn't give any content in the website. Okay. To show the content in the website, we need to use the another one tag called body. Okay. So this is the one content which we need to use in our application to show the content in our website actually. Okay, this is the body content which we need to use in our thinking. Okay, so in case if I refresh this thing, as you can see here, now whatever the content I am providing inside the body, still I can able to see, but it does not mean that always in case without body also you can provide the content, but that is not a standard way. Always content should come under the body tag only. Okay, this is the first step of displaying the content inside the HTML. HTML web page actually. Okay, this is the first one. Okay, the next one we are going to see some other tags in our HTML web pages. There are different type of tags actually. These are the tags. These are the tags which is usually used in our HTML files. But apart from this, there is some displaying tags to use for decorating purposes in our HTML file actually. Okay, so that tags we will see one by one. I think I list down all the tags. Then I will go for one by one actually. Okay. So the first tag is like a div tag. This div tag is specifically for division. Actually, this div stands for division. When you want to divide the content, then we can use the concept of div actually. Not only content, when you want to divide the section or anything, web page. So nothing like it's like a, if you want to create a header, you want to create a header on the side, in the right side you want to have right side an image, and left side you want to have one image, and then bottom you want to have one footer. So all these things will be aligned by the using the concept of div only. Okay. Okay. The next one, what we are going to see is paragraph tag. From the name itself, we will understand this paragraph tag is specifically for to show the content in a paragraph manner. That's it. Okay. This specifically for to show the content in the inside the website with a specified margin and padding. So it has some default margin and padding as per the browser standards. So every browser will have some standards for default every tag. So for the paragraph tag, it has some default margin and padding for the every browser. Okay, so this paragraph content is specifically for to display the content in the web pages. Okay, the next tag what we are going to see is anchor tag. From the name itself, you will understand some. It is specifically for to link the website in our application, which means so whatever the URL I'm just providing. So whatever the URL I'm just providing here, right? So whenever I am displaying this content or this tag in our website, I will have the link here. So whenever I am clicking the link, it will navigate to the particular web page. For example, in case if I go to Google and I am typing something, and I will get some result, right? Oh, I'm not getting anything. Okay. So some UI, some text I'm typing here. So a lot of things it will be shown here. So as you can see here, if I click this link, it will go to the particular web page. Am I right? So in case if I click this link, it will go to the Wikipedia. That's because of the tag called anchor tag. This anchor tag is nothing but it's like a simple tag which will navigate the link to the particular web application or any other application. So, but only thing is we have to provide the URL here actually. Okay, the proper URL we need to provide here. Then only it will navigate to the particular web page. Okay, this is the own tag, and then we are going to see is the heading tag, which is nothing but H1 to so up to H1 to up to I think we can go for H6 up to H1, H2, H3, H6 up to H6. We can able to navigate to our application. Okay, so H1, H2, H6, all these tags we can able to create. So H1 is the very bigger font, and then if we go low, H2, H3, H5, H6, then everything will have some lower size than the bigger the previous one. This is H stands for heading tag. So wherever you want to show some heading in the website, then you can use the concept. We can use the tag called heading tag, which is nothing but H1 actually. Okay, okay. The next one, what we are going to see is span tag. I think this you will understand later, like what is all these things. But I will show you. Again, this is also to display the content, in the web page. But the difference between this div and the span is, I will tell you the difference later. But now just consider span is also like it's like a simple content. I think in the end of the session I will tell you what is the difference between this div and the span actually. Okay. Specifically, this span also will have the certain restrictions, but it is also specifically for to show the content in the website. Okay, that's it. It does not have any specific properties like divide the web page. The span is specifically for displaying the content in the web page. That's it. And then we used to have input tag, input type text actually. Okay, so this input type text is specifically for the input tag, which is nothing but whenever the user, for example, we are entering some email or password or any other input, right? So all the input will comes under this tag actually. Okay. So here you can see the one more thing is called type equals text, and as usual here also I have explained. I forgot to explain. And H reference. This H reference is specifically it's like a attribute tag. Attribute means it's like another property for the particular tag. Without this attribute, also it work in a very different manner, but these attributes are very mandatory for the particular tags. Like this, in the anchor tag, this H reference is the mandatory attribute. For again, all the tags, it has some optional attribute as well that we will see later. But as of now, this anchor tag will have the reference, H reference is the one of the attribute tag. And then input type text is the another one tag which will have the attribute called type to specify the input of the particular type, which means this will show the input tag. And the same thing, I will show you one more thing. It's like a radio. What it will do, this will show the radio button. It's of the same text box, same line of code only. But in the above one, I have mentioned as a text. The below one, I have mentioned as a radio, which means it will show the radio. But all the things I will show you in the demo. But just now, I am just listing all the tags, whatever the tags we are having in our application. Okay. The next one, what we are going to see, the tag is called button tag, input type button actually. There's a two types of button is there. So this is the one type of button. This is another one of button actually. Okay. So in this button, I need to provide some text. Okay. So this is the text which will be shown in the browser as the click me button. For example, in case wherever you are logged in case of any other particular email login or password, below the password, you will see the button called login or sign up or registration, right? So all these things will be done by the button listing. Okay. This button is like a clickable button. Whenever the user wants to sign in or something, any if you want to create any clickable events, there we can use the element called this button actually. Okay, that's it. Okay, so this is what about. And apart from this, does it has anything? I put a button, a radio like this. It has something called checkbox. And one more thing, it has called select as well. Select is like a drop down for our application. Okay, select is the drop down for our application. So here option one means it's like okay, I will show you the demo, but now just understand like select is like a little drop down in our application. Okay. Apart from this, there's a tag called B. B stands for bold actually. Whenever we want to show any particular tag in bold and bold characters, then we can use the tag called bold. Then there is a tag called I. I stands for italic. When you want to create a italic text, then we can use this text. So between this text, I can provide some characters. So this character becomes the bold actually, and this character becomes italic. Okay. So these are the tags for our application. Apart from this, any other tags? Normal font. Okay. So there's a one more tag called form. Okay. This form is specifically for to send the data to the server. This we will see elaborately in our application. But as we are working on Angular, right, we don't need to worry about this form as of now because we can use directly without form as well. But this form is specifically for to show the or to send the data to the particular server actually. Or if you want to design any other something like any other design, then it's like a combination of inputs, right? So all these things will be handled inside the form. This form is specifically for to submit the data to the server actually. Okay. Okay. This is the form, and some other tags is there. It's like a section. From the name itself, we will understand. Again, this section is like an updation of HTML. Again, it's also when you want to separate a web page with a proper section, right? So the time this section will be useful in our application when we want to separate our particular application. That's it. Okay. So now I will show you all the tags in a very detailed manner as a demo actually. Okay. These are all like a very theoretical part of our tags. Now we will go to the how these tags will be worked actually. Okay. So now same in the test.html as you can see here below. Sorry, this thing. So inside the text.html, this is the div tag and test. Okay. As you can see here, now the test will be shown in the web page, right? So and also here you can see here the body inside the test actually. Okay. And now I will tell you like what is the usage of div and all maybe in the end of the session. Maybe paragraph tag I will explain you later, but now I will go with anchor reference. So anchor reference is specifically for, as I told, to navigate the web page from our application to another application. Okay. So from here, I'm just pasting the anchor tag inside our application. So here, I'm providing like Google as usual. Okay, so here I'm drawing like google.com. Okay, so which means if I refresh the website, you can see that Google will come here. Okay, so as you can see here, the Google is showing here. So in case if I hover on this text, you can see the okay. If I hover on this particular text, you can see in the bottom left corner, you can see the google.com will be appear. That's because this link will navigate to the particular google.com. Okay, that's the reason it shows the what is the URL navigated after clicking this Google action. Okay, so in case if I click this website, as you can see here, now the Google is got navigated from the web page. So in case if I click the back, you go to our web page. Okay, so this anchor reference is like a anchor tag to show our content in our web page actually. Okay, that's it. And as you can see here, for the div tag, there is no attribute properties because div does not expect any attribute properties. But this anchor reference expect particular property called h reference that is specifically for to navigate because the main usage of this anchor reference is to navigate the web page from one web page to another one. Am I right? So due to that, we have to provide an attribute called h reference. So inside that, we need to provide all of our values actually. Okay, which means value means is nothing but like a URL of the website and what is the text what is the text want to show in the website for clicking the URL. So Google is the one text and http google.com is the another one where we want to show something. Okay. Okay, yes. Okay, next we will go one by one. Okay, as I told you, the H1 tag is nothing but it's like a heading tag. If we want to show any heading in our application, then we can use the concept of H1 actually. Okay, so this H1 is specifically for heading actually. Okay, I will show you how the heading will work in our application. I will copy that tag and I will paste it inside our body. So this is like a as you can see here, this is sample heading. Because this heading, as you can see here, remaining text, whatever we are displaying the content using the div and anchor tag is not same as the H1 tag because H1 will have some default property by the browser. So whenever I'm giving the particular tag, browser will have some special styles for the particular tag. Due to that, this header is showing like this actually. Okay. Next one is I'm going to show H2. Okay, this is the another one tag which will have the smaller font than the H1. As you can see here, this is the another one. Like this, I can go for up to H6. Directly I go for H6. So remaining H3, H4 and all you can write as a okay. So H6 I gave as the next one. So as you can see, this is the very smaller one from this actually. Okay, H1, H2, H3, H6. Okay, these are the 6 different H tags for our application. Okay, the next one which I am going to tell is input tag actually. Okay, the span I will tell you example. When we are learning this div, right? That time we will understand the span also. So input type text actually. So the input type text, again input is the tag, type is the attribute for the particular input text. Okay. So whenever I am providing something like that, I will get the proper input. As you can see here, the input box is rendered in the website. For the particular line, the browser is providing browser is render the proper input in the website. Okay, and it has one more attribute for the input alone. For the input alone, we have one more attribute. It is optional. It is not mandatory. So here I am just giving placeholder. This placeholder is specifically for to show the help content in the website. So enter username. If I click this, as you can see here, the enter username will be shown in the browser with the using of placeholder actually. Okay. So this placeholder, the placeholder value will be shown in the browser with the appropriate name actually. Okay. And the same thing, we using the same tag input type text, I can render some different components as well. So I think here I don't need this placeholder as hereafter. Okay. So here I am providing the input type text. I'm providing input type checkbox. So now checkbox will be shown in the web page. As you can see here, the simple checkbox will be shown in the browser. Okay, the same thing, I can create a radio button as well. As you can see here, I got the radio button. But radio button, whenever I'm selected, I can't able to uncheck the value. But checkbox means I can able to uncheck the value. But in the radio button, I can't unselect the value actually. Okay. So this is the next one. Okay. So I think input type radio checkbox. Next one is we are going to see is the input type button actually. Okay. This input type button is to show the button in the browser. Okay. So here I'm providing a value click me. As you can see here, this button will be shown in our application with the value of click me. So whenever I'm clicking something, this button will be rendered. But here I am not adding any events for the particular. And here one more, you can see here, I am providing the one more attribute called value. This is like a, without this thing, as you can see here, the button becomes empty. The user won't understand what is the simple dot. To show the particular value, like it's like a login or sign up or registration, we need to provide the value inside the value tag, value attribute. Instead of click me, if we put like login, then still I can able to see the button with the login text, because if I change anything inside the value, then I can see the proper login also. This is what about button, all the input tag. So just to only I'm changing the attribute. By changing the attribute, I can render the different type of components as per our requirement. Okay, so this is what about different type of input with the texts actually. Okay, the next tag which we are going to see is, okay, this is also one more button. Okay, the next tag is like a button without input type button. This is like a one more type button. This also we will see now. As you can see here, this is also the same button which you are having this thing. There is no difference between the two buttons, but only thing is the way of how we are implementing. That's it. There won't be any major difference between these two buttons. As you can see here, both are having the same alignment, all these things, everything is same. Just only the HTML code will be changeable between these two elements actually. Okay, that's it. Okay, we will see the next tag. Next one is the select dropdown. Select dropdown is specifically for to select the dropdown in our application. Okay, this what this tag will do. This tag will render the dropdown in our application. Okay, so if we refresh the web page, we can see here this will select the drop down. In case apart from this one, if we want to use some other value, that is also can be possible. If we give 2, as you can see here, the 2 also will be shown to the user as a drop down, which means from here user can select any of the value from the drop down, any one value from the drop down. Not only 2 values, if I want to have, I can have the multiple values as well. 3, 5. Okay, as you can see here, these are the different values will be shown in the drop down. I can select any one of the value, and which means user can select any one of the value and you can do all the process. Okay, this is what about drop down. For drop down, we need to use the tag called select along with the another one tag called option actually. Okay, and then next tag is called B and A. I think all these things I will just select here. As you can see here, this ASD is specifically for bolding the text, and this is for italic actually. Okay, this is for bold and this is for italic. That's it. Okay. The last, I think, the last tag, form tag, specifically for submitting the form. This we will see later in the upcoming sessions. Okay. The next one, what you are going to see is the section tag. Maybe from the name itself, we will understand. It's like a separating the section. Yeah. So something I'm just some text I'm just typing here, and here I'm typing something. Refresh it, as you can see, automatically it will come one by one actually. Okay, but this is not the exact uses. This will have a lot of things in terms of design, but this is like a simple way of creating the HTML website in our application. Okay, that's it. Yes. Okay, this is what about all the applications. Like these are all major HTML tag and how it is working in our application. So using of these tags only, we are going to get a lot of it's like a major designs of the website. Okay. And one more thing, I need to close the select. Okay, and okay, that's it. So this is what about HTML tags and its uses. Apart from this, there's a lot of things. And one more thing, here we are providing the input of text. Here type is the attribute, placeholder also attribute for the particular input. Okay. Okay, these are the basics of HTML actually. Any doubts here, or shall I go for the next one? Okay. Okay, then I will go for the next one actually. Okay. So the next one, what we are going to see is like the elements, which means the different type of elements based on some categories. So all these links, like okay, so one second. Being hold on 1 second. I guess. Sorry, actually. Okay. So now we are going to, what is the topic? Okay, we are going to see the different type of elements or the tags in a like in a little structured manner. So now we are seeing like everything is same thing, but now we are going to see like some different structures for the what are the basic things for every tags. So every tag will have a some different default styles in every browser, but mostly everything will have same common styles only. But we are going to see that like what are the common styles for the every HTML tag. Okay, the two major categories of the HTML tags are, one is inline element and then block element. Okay, first we will see what is inline element, block element. Then we will go for what are the elements will come under inline element or what are the elements comes under block element. Okay, so all these elements will be come under either one of this one. The element may be the inline element or the element may be the inline block element. Okay, so what is the difference between inline element and inline block element? Okay, so what this inline element will do, what the block element will do? Okay, this inline element will take the height based on content. Okay, so this is the first one for the inline element. Inline element, what it will do? Will take the height and width based on the content. Okay, so which means whatever the content is having, right? So based on that, this will create a this one. Okay, the block element, what it will do, irrespective of the content, it will create a new line. Always starts a new line. Irrespective of the content, even if you're having the 5 characters, it won't for the next tag. It will not start from the same line. It will start from the next line only. Okay, which means always starts from new line. Okay, inline element and the block element. Inline elements will start from the, will take the height and width based on the content. Okay, and also it should not start from, usually next one does not start in a new line actually. Okay, so the example, what are the inline elements, what are the block elements that we will see now. So the example of block element and inline element is like our paragraph tag. Block element example. No? So first I will show you the block element. Inline element example only. Yeah. So the best example for inline element is span actually. Span comes under inline element, and then we can say anchor tag. Anchor tag comes under inline element, and then be the bold tag, comma italic tag, comma. I think most of the things we have seen. That's it. Okay. And then a block element means always starts a new line, as I told earlier. And the one more type is there always. Here window, we can't say window, it should be browser. Which means it will take the entire width of the browser. Okay. If you are using a smaller screen, then it will take the smallest screen of browser. If you are using a bigger screen, then it will create a bigger screen of the particular browser. That's it. Okay. So this is what about our black element environment. Okay. We will show the some tags for black element, which is nothing but I think all the header tags H1 to H6, all these tags will come under black element. Okay. And then div is the specifically for it's like a black element that we have seen already. This div will come under black element, which are your like section. Section will be a black element. Okay. Input and all will come under the inline element, which is okay. This and all inline element, this and all black element. Whenever we want, we can use black element. We come under paragraph type will come under black element actually. Okay. Yes, that's it, guys. Yeah. So these are the tags which is specifically for showing the content inside the web page. Okay. Apart from this, it does not have anything actually. So H1, H6, dissection, all these things. Sorry, it's not dissection. Div action. Okay, H1 to H6, div, section, paragraph tag. So as you can see the definition, you can easily match the definition along with the output. So as I told here, block element always starts from the new line, always take full width based on the browser. Okay. So as you can see here, H1 to H6 div section. Okay. Here see this heading tag is the tag which takes the full width. But here you can see here I am having the input. Along with it has input type checkbox. Along with it has radio and button, all these things. But here it has one heading. The next heading will start in the next line. That's because it is the block element. What this block element will do, this block element will take full width irrespective of the application. Due to that, the next element or the next content will come under the next line, or it will take the based on appropriate fixed width. If you are providing the width, it will take the black element will take the width. Otherwise, it will take the full width of the particular web page actually. Okay. So this is what about our application, which means the HTML tags actually. Okay. This is what about the HTML tags of our application. So the main thing is inline element, block element. This is like a very important in terms of while designing, because if we know what are the tags comes under inline element and what are the tags comes under the block element, automatically we will understand how can we design our web page actually. Okay. So if we know all these things, it will be very easy for to learn our things actually. Inline element as well as block element. That's it. So any other doubts here? Shall I go for next topic? Okay. 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 Now we have the simple content in our application. The next one what we are going to see is CSS actually. Okay. So first I will show you what is CSS. I think maybe I will show you the CSS. Then I will explain how it will be useful and all these things actually. Okay. So as you can see here, as we have done the HTML web page, so now you can see the HTML does not have any alignment purposes. Just if you want to show something or if you want to create something, automatically we will provide the content to the web page and it will get rendered in our application. That's it, right? So apart from this, it does not have any specialized feature like to align element. In case if you want the sample heading, this heading should be in the right alignment instead of, because all the content is left alignment, right? Instead, if you want to align everything in a left alignment, then I can't do using the HTML. I have to use the concept called CSS. So CSS is like a styling purposes for our application. Okay. So, excuse me. Okay. So whenever we want to style our application, then we can't do with our HTML. HTML will be useful only for the displaying the content. So once we display the content, then we need to create a CSS for styling our elements. Okay, there is a lot of properties available in our CSS. First, we will see how can we include a CSS and what is the usage of CSS. All these things one by one. Okay. Okay. In CSS, we can. Okay. The CSS we can include it in a different way. So there is a totally three ways are available to include the CSS. Okay, but before that I will tell you CSS. I think as I told earlier, CSS specifically for to design the HTML or align the HTML elements. Okay, this is the one. Design or align the HTML elements actually. Okay, this is the first one. We can design or we can align the HTML elements. Okay. So once we design our HTML elements, then we can use that. So, okay. So where we can define our property, how can we include our design property? Which means where we need to declare the design properties. Okay. So these things, how can we use it in our application? So to use that, in order to include our design properties in our HTML file, we have the three options. The first one is to include the CSS properties. First one is internal style sheet. The next one is external style sheet. Third one is inline style sheet. Okay, these are the three different ways to include our CSS properties. One is internal style sheet, external style sheet, and inline style sheet. Okay. Okay. Now we will see how can we use this concept to our application, or how can we use this concept in our application. Okay. So the first one is internal style sheet, means we can define the styles inside the header tag. The next one is define the styles in external file and include in header tag. Okay. External file and including header tag. This is the next one. The third one is define the styles in element itself. Okay, that's it. So these are the three different categories of style sheet actually, which means the first one is internal style sheet. Define the styles inside the header tag. External style sheet, define the styles in the external file and include in the header tag. Inline style sheet means define the styles in the element itself. Okay, so these are the three different tags in our application. Okay. Okay. Now, just leave this concept. We will go for how can we define a style sheet. Then I will tell you how can I use this concept actually. Okay. So every styles can be defined using the again using the elements and the class name and the ID. So styles can be defined in okay, which means the first one using the tag name. Tag name or the element name. For example, in case if I want to apply the style for div means, then I can directly use the concept element name called div actually. In case if I want to apply the style for anchor tag, then I can use the A is the anchor tag. If I want to apply the styles for H6, then I can directly use the H6. Okay, using the tag name. This is the one way. The next way is using the class name that we will see now. So using the class name. Okay, this class name is like a we can define our own. For element, for some element, I want to show red color. For example, here I am having the two H6 tag. This is like a one H6 tag, and this is the next one is like next H6 tag. Okay, so for this tag I want to show the red color. This tag I want to show the blue color. Okay, so to do that we need a class name because I can't give the tag name because tag is common for all the tag. In case if I put H6 as a red color, then both these elements will get a red color. But what I need is I want this has to be red color, this has to be blue color. Due to that, we need to go the concept of class name. This class name we can define, and based on the class name, we can write the CSS. And this class name can be accessible in the CSS styles using the concept of dot. Okay, this dot will be useful to access the CSS class from the HTML to the CSS styles actually. Okay, so this is the next one. The third one is using the ID. This ID stands for identity, so which means it should be unique. The first one is it should be unique. And then it can be accessible using the concept of hash. For example, as I told, class name means we can use the concept of dot to access the element the element in the CSS place. If we want to access the ID for the element, we can use the same concept, which means we can access the ID inside the defined place where CSS is defined actually. Okay, so this is what about class and ID. This class and ID is attribute for all the elements which is available inside our HTML. So for wherever the elements inside our body, we can apply the class or ID, and using this dot or hash operator, then we can able to access the particular class or particular ID from our application. Okay. Okay. So first, I will go with the H6 itself because I don't know. I'm not, okay. And as of now, I'm not telling this internal style sheet and the inline style sheet. Now I will. Sorry. Now I'm not telling about inline or external. Now I'm going to explain about only the internal. Once we comfortable with all the style attributes, then I will tell you what is the how can we use this external as well as the inline actually. Okay. Now I'm going to concentrate on only on the internal style sheet. So as I told earlier, this internal style sheet define the styles inside the head tag. Okay. So if I go to head tag, so inside the head tag, I may have the internal style sheet actually. Okay. So here, header. Sorry, there is something inside the head. I need to open the element called style type text dot CSS. Okay. So here only we need to provide the CSS styles actually. Okay. All the CSS styles we need to provide the inside this style actually. Okay. This is the first way of defining the styles. This is like a one way for the defining the CSS styles. And as I told earlier, we can use the tag name or we can use the class name or we can use the ID. Okay. So in this thing we can able to apply the CSS, which means the tag name, class name, ID. For example, maybe directly I will go for H6. For the, now I am using the tag name. For the H6, I am mentioning as the okay. Now don't try about any CSS properties. I will explain you later these things. But now just consider only the how the CSS is getting applied for the elements. Okay, I will help you to learn this properties later. But now just understand this color action. Okay, so here I am providing a for H6 element. I am providing the color as a red action. Okay, so in case if I refresh it, you can see here both the H6 become the red color. Okay, the same way, if I want to use H1 as a blue color, aqua, some color is showing. I'm just using this. If I refresh it, you can see the text color here as well. Okay, so this is the one more header of our application. This is like a header action. Okay, that's it. The next one. Okay, now let's consider like for this second element, I need the different color. Maybe like any blue color or something. If I want to use the H6, because the second H6, I don't want to use the same red color, or I don't need color. I need only the for the first H1. I don't need the color for the second H1. Okay. So in that thing, I need to use the concept of class name. This class name, what it will do, we can define the class name in the particular element using the concept of attribute. Attribute is like a one more property for our application. For example, as you can see here, type is the one more attribute or like this, like so. Same way, I can create some other attribute as well. So here, class. Okay, here I am mentioning this is the name. I can provide whatever the name I want, but here I am providing a blue. Blue is the color name I just want to mention here. Okay, so here, but as I told earlier, class name should be accessible using the concept of dot actually. Okay, without dot we can't use the we can't access the class from our HTML file in the CSS actually. So here I'm just mentioning blue. I'm just mentioning. So what this will do, this will apply the CSS to the particular only for the particular element or particular element which is having the class. It should not apply for anything. Which means if I use this tag name, this will apply the CSS for all the elements. Okay. Instead, if you want to apply the elements only for the particular elements, instead of applying for everything, only for the whoever is having my class name, then only for the particular tags I want to apply, then I can use the concept of dot blue. So here I'm mentioning color blue. Okay. So now what this will do, for the first H6, it will update as a red color. For the second H6, it has to shown as a blue color. So as you can see here now, both are red color. If I refresh the web page, as you can see here, first is become the red color, second is become the blue color. Okay. So that's because we apply the blue color as the class name, which will override the existing property, but I don't explain override and all. We will see later all these overrides everything. Okay, now I will remove this H6 as well. If we refresh, it became the normal one, which is blue color. Sorry, which is black color. Black color is the default style for our in my browser. Okay. So now for the different H6, which means the H6 which is not having the class, I want to show some other different value. Maybe okay. As you can see here now, red color is shown to the application. Okay, so now this tag is getting red color, this tag is getting blue color. That's because this class name. So in case if I remove the styles, only the red color and blue color, you can see the styles getting removed actually. Okay, that's because the styles is not applied in our application. In this web application, the style is not applied. Okay, which means the styles is we have removed actually. Due to that, the styles is not getting applied. If I enable this thing one more time, so now wherever we are using a red color will be applicable. So in case of first system, as you can see here, now both the values is getting applied in our application. Okay. So this is all about our the CSS styles and application. But these are very basics of CSS, and we will see all these things in very elaborate manner. But I will tell you one more thing. Here, this red color I have applied only for the H6, right? The same red color I can apply for some other tags as well. For example, in the input of text is there, right? So here also I can provide red color. What this will do, this will apply the red color for this class as well. As you can see here, whatever the typing rate, it will become red color. That's because I have provided the color as a red actually. Okay. So due to that, it get red color actually. Okay, in case if I apply this select button with the class blue, the select become blue, as you can see here. Now the select is become blue, but not all the options. This won't become. This will need something actually. 5 means, as you can see here, the 5 become blue actually. Okay. The same thing. In case along with this red and blue, if I want to any other color, something like brown, and I am going to apply this brown to the bold tag. Yep. As you can see here, now this bold become the blue action, the brown action. Okay. Okay. So any other doubts still now regarding any other changes or something, CSS styles or something? Okay, that's fine. Okay. Still now what we are seeing is like only the internal style sheet, which means we are defining the styles inside our header tag of the HTML, which means this thing. So external style sheet means what we can do, we can just move everything to the external style sheet or external CSS file. The same content, whatever we are having, right? So with the same content in the external file. So define the styles in the external file means. And one more thing here, I didn't provide anything, only color I'm just providing. It has a lot of properties that we will see tomorrow. As of now, this is enough. Okay, I'm going to, okay, I will show you the how to define this external style sheet actually. Okay, so now I'm going to create a one more file called text.css or style. You can provide whatever the name you want. So I'm providing a style.css. Okay, so now in this CSS, I moved all these things from here. So all the value from here. That's it. I'm not done anything. Just copying the CSS whatever we have done in the internal style sheet, moving to the style.css actually. Okay. So I'm just saving the file. But now if I refresh it, everything will be gone because now we moved everything to the external CSS. Okay. Now how can we include the external CSS to our application? To do that, what we need to do, we need to use the tag called link tag. This link, what it will do, it will link our external. This is specifically for external style sheet, not for internal. So when we want to link our external style sheet within our application, then we can use the link tag. This link, what it will do, link our external style sheet to our application. Okay, so link hrefs. Here I am mentioning style.css. I think it should have one more thing, relationship. First, style sheet. I think something is expected. I hope this is enough. Yeah. Let me see if I refresh it now. Yeah. So once I refresh, you can see here now all the CSS become, all the CSS got applied to the all the tags actually. Okay. Yes. So this is what about applying the external CSS to our application. Just using that. Sorry. Okay. So just using this tag, I just moved all the CSS from here to this file, which I have created newly along with this same path. Now in the same path, I have created a simple HTML. Sorry, I have created a simple CSS. So in this CSS, I have moved all the CSS properties to this file, and in the test.html, and so inside this link should come inside the header tag, and here I am just providing a href link href style.css, which is nothing but which will include all of our CSS property. So once we load our CSS property, as usual, automatically everything will get applied action. Okay. The same thing, for example, in case as you can see here, now the anchor tag is there, now Google. This Google, I want to change into the any other different color. Okay. So I will just show you that as well. Only along add create tag. So in this anchor tag, I'm just providing a color as a something showing blue violet. Okay, I'm just refreshing. I have added this thing. If I refresh it, you can see that the blue violet is showing actually. This is showing. I don't know. Oh, both are same actually. I will use some other color. Some color is chartreuse. I think it's like a green color. As you can see here, now the green is showing for the anchor tag. Okay. So this is all about our application of applying the CSS actually. Okay. So here I didn't use any other CSS properties. This is like a very basic CSS properties for our application. But for the advanced properties, all these things we will see tomorrow. But as of now, any other doubts here? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. If not, then we can wind up today actually.